Hello and welcome. Happy Easter, everyone. This is Under the Surface, and today, or tonight, we are interviewing a very, very special guest. We have Damon Lowery on board with us. Thank you for coming in, Damon.
Anneli, you have no idea how excited I am to be here.
I really love this because Damon and I, we have our own podcasts that we do with each other when no one's listening every time we get onto a plane. So last year in Singapore, when we were on our way to Singapore, we were in a row. I want to say it was row 38.
I was thinking 32.
Every time we talked about that chat that we had, the number changes. So it's row 75. Like every time I saw him, it was different.
Row 46, the conversations. It was the best too.
Yeah, it was. And I just love that like every time we saw each other, it was like row 72. And like we didn't really have to elaborate on that. That was just the end. But this time it was row 59.
We made a distinct pact to look at the row because we knew we're going to be talking for a long time.
Exactly. And I think we've already had a moment where like, was it 49? We've already forgotten. But yes, I'm very excited. For those who don't know Damon, we're going to get into a little bit about his life and everything that he's accomplished and continues to accomplish, and then just about who he is as a dude. But I want to start by, Damon, give us a little blurb about who you are. For the people that don't know Layman Dowery, which is his alter ego name.
Yeah. This is great because the amount of times that we talk, it's not like we talk often, but whenever we do, they're great chats.
Wisdom.
They always great chats. So look, I've been here for I got in 89. What's that, 34 years ago. From Saginaw, Michigan, came out to play basketball, stayed, obviously, became an Australian citizen, did all that kind of stuff. And just was hoping, dabbled in some coaching after I retired, worked jobs in the real world.
What are those?
Yeah, real world stuff. You got plenty of time for that. You don't need to worry about that. That's, I'm just a regular dude who's just enjoying life.
I like that. I like, obviously, for the basketball people that are listening, Damon played for Illawarra and had a very famous moment in his career. Come on, tell us about it, Damon.
2001. So it was my first year in Wollongong. We were the Wollongong Hawks then, and I know they're the Illawarra Hawks now. But back then, it was my rookie year in the league. I was 33. I was a youngin', an old youngin'.
Yeah.
And the Hawks had never been to the grand final before. Brendan Joyce, he actually brought me into Wollongong because he was my coach in Ballarat in the Siebel, which is now NBL 1. And Brendan coached me for 2 years in Ballarat. We won championships both years. And he said to me, if you naturalize and if I still got a job, I'll look at bringing you in. I was like, whatever. I'm just living in Ballarat, just never thought NBL. I just thought it might have passed me. And anyway, he brings me in. We had a good team. Not what you would call a championship. If you looked at us on the paper, you go, hey, what's he put together?
Yeah.
We had Glenn Saville, who turned out to be an icon, but at the time he was young. Matt Campbell, another icon of the NBL, but at the time he was young. Rookie Axel Dench, and we had a lot of veterans, like older veterans. Imports, not like the imports that come with really big, big reputations.
Yeah.
Just meat and potatoes, just hungry dudes. And Brendan just put us all together, and we had a hell of a season, and it culminated in the championship. We beat the Townsville Crocodiles. But in the semifinal, I hit 3 free throws to put us into the championship game.
Okay, you can't just say they were just free throws. There were free throws that touched every single part of the ring.
Yeah. They were
going in.
Yeah, a lot of people thought they were lucky free throws, but I did that on purpose.
Yeah. You just wanted to add some spice to the game.
And your dad
yes.
was in that game.
Yeah.
Your dad, were you a twinkle? You wasn't even a twinkle then. You might have been a little twinkle.
What year was this?
2001?
I would have, I was 3.
You was 3. Yeah. You wasn't at the game, though.
No. I reckon I heard about the free throws before I even met you. That was probably something that Dad was still salty about for like the first 10 years of my life. Like, that's one time this man, he hit 3 free throws.
And look at the path now. Paul Maley, Damon Lowery, my children and his children are mates, go to the same high school in Eltham.
That's crazy.
Small world.
I know, it really is a small world. And before we get into your life now, I want to ask you a couple of questions about you as a youngin'. who was Damon Lowery as a kid? And like, I don't know whether or not you want to answer this question as like,
I'll answer anything you ask
kid.
me.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So kid is like a young kid in
Right.
school.
Right.
Who was Damon Lowery?
Insecure,
Yeah.
scared. Not scared for his life, but just no confidence. My father saw me walking home from school one day, and when I got home, he said, I saw you walking from the bus stop and you had your head down and it looked like you was carrying invisible suitcases. I didn't swing my arms. I didn't look up. And I just didn't have any confidence. You know, the school I went to, I would say 98% African-American, right? And in our community, you could get talked about and taken a piss out of for the littlest thing. You have a bad haircut. Everybody laughs at you. You got the wrong shoes. You got the wrong style. You don't have the right fashion. You don't have a girlfriend. You ride the bench on the basketball team. You bring the wrong food for lunch. It was total, oh my God, somebody gonna talk about me. You know what I mean? So I was a little dude, and everybody would make fun of me. They thought I looked like Keebler the Elf. I don't know if you guys would know who Keebler the Elf is, but it's like a cartoon character, had pointy ears. I had kind of Asian looking eyes, and people was taking a piss out of me a lot, right? So I had no confidence. So growing up, I just was like, no big brothers. I just got a little sister. I didn't run with a gang. I didn't have anything to really go, Damon's cool. Nothing. So I just walked the halls, just a quirky little insecure, poor little Damon.
Poor little Damon. With the little pointy
He had
ears.
no swag, swagless. So anyway, that's how I came up.
So at what point did you find sport then? Like at what point did that become a part of something that you did? And did that help you kind of grow out of that little kind of unconfident dude? Or what was that like for you?
I always played. I just wasn't good. So again, I got nothing to hang my hat on. So in the 7th grade, so junior high, 7th and 8th grade, we had a basketball team and it's 15 players on the team. I think it was a 32-minute game. And I was in the 3rd string, which is, you got your starters, that's 1st string. 2nd string, then I'm in the 3rd string.
Yeah.
I never play.
Yeah.
They gave me number 50 to wear. That was my singlet number. Now, 50 now I think is kind of cool to wear.
Yeah.
But back then, if you wore 50, that's like the back up to the back up center's number.
Yeah.
All the cool dudes had 10, 11, 12.
Yeah. 8,
Damon
4, 2.
Damon here's 50.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
My science teacher was this coach, so he didn't teach me anything. I didn't learn anything. You know what I mean? I just was on the team. 8th grade, I moved up to 2nd string. No big deal. I barely played. 9th grade, so now I'm in high school. So 9th grade, we got our varsity, which is like, predominantly 11th and 12th graders. You could play varsity as a 9th grader if you was really good. Rare though. Then they got junior varsity, JV. And that was for the 9th and 10th graders. Any occasional 11th grader if he was a bum. If you was in 11th grade and played JV, they talked about you.
Yeah. You were one of those kids.
But no, because I was a freshman, a 9th grader, and I was in the 9th grade freshman team.
Yeah.
So if you're in a freshman team, it's like,
Yeah.
he can't even really play. And I made the freshman team. How's this for a coach picking his team? He had the whole team come into the locker room. He says, when I call your name, you've made the team, go out. So he's calling 6, 7, 8, 9, get to like the 14th dude. He goes out. I'm sitting there with 2 guys left. It's me and Mitchell Ezel. I'll have to describe Mitchell Ezel. Poor Mitchell. He had nothing going for him in his life. And I was sitting in there with Mitchell Ezel. And the coach looked at me like this. He was going, Damon Mitchell. And he finally went, Damon, going out there. I was like, I made the team, yay.
Yeah.
Never played.
Yeah.
10th grade, I make junior varsity, JV, but not barely playing. And this is when my life changed. 11th grade, they fired the high school coach and brought in another coach. And this coach to this day, this is my man. He changed my life.
Yeah, you've told me about him. Yeah.
Can I tell you how tryouts went for me?
Please go. Tell me about this coach.
When I tried out, before coach got there,
Yeah.
and his name is Noah Wayne, but still a coach to me.
Yeah.
I'm in the 10th grade, I'm trying out for varsity, which is a joke. I knew I wasn't gonna make the team. So over the announcement during school, it's lunchtime, they go, morning students, basketball tryouts, lunchtime, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I look at my boy Henry, I said, hey man, we gotta go try out. He's like, man, we can't make that team. I said, we gotta try out. We walk in there, it's like 80 dudes in there. And to walk into our gym, you go past the cafeteria and you walk in, there's these double doors, open up, boom, there's a gym.
It's so American high school. This is such an unheard of experience.
Oh, yeah.
Continue.
Me and Henry walk in there, and the coach at the time, Mr. Morris, Mr. Morris looks at all of us and goes, all right, everybody on the left side, if you missed the left-hand layup, get out. This is tryout. This is the start of tryouts. I can't do a left-hand layup. I'm 16 years old. I can't do a left-hand layup. I can't dribble left-handed. So what do? Go to the back of the line. Me and Henry, who also couldn't do a left-hand layup. I'm thinking, man, with a bit of luck, 70 dudes will miss. I might make mine, and I can advance. So when it got to me, I took a couple awkward bounces, laid it up, missed it, walked right out the double doors, and went and got some lunch. That was my tryout. And then Coach Reed showed up and changed my life. Yep.
So I want you to elaborate on how did he change your life?
Okay.
Because I want to go into that.
Okay.
You can't go into who you are now and the things that you're doing now without learning about who you were, you know?
Yeah. Anybody that knows me, like back home, they know the influence Coach has had on my life. My parents, my wife, everybody knows about Coach. Coach actually came to Amsterdam for the 3x3.
That's crazy.
He met me there. So anyway, Coach, now it's the 11th grade year. I'm in 11th grade and it's summertime. So he said, all right, we're going to have practice. Like people who's interested in trying out for the team. I'll show up. My mother was a school administrator for like 30 years. Everybody in Saginaw School District knows my mother. And Coach's wife, my mother, buddies. So anyway, I'm sitting up there and I'm trying to, when you're insecure, you ain't trying to be out in the open.
You try and make yourself small, hey?
Yeah, I'm trying to hide in the background. I don't want nobody to see me. What's Damon doing here?
Yeah.
So anyway, Coach looks up at me and sees me. He goes, hey, you Josie Lowry's boy. He said, you look just like your mama. He said, you're not very good, son. He said, the only way you're going to make this team is to play defense. That statement right there. I'm not very good.
Yeah.
What? I'm a lunchtime All-American. What you talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, he sees right through me. I'm looking around. This is embarrassing. But he was right.
Yeah.
And then he said, you got to play D. Because I couldn't shoot or dribble. I was just quick. So I said, okay, defense. Okay, that I can do that. You teach me. And I became really good defensively, and I made the team. And from that point on, he only coached me for 2 years, 11th and 12th grade year. We made the state championship both times. Played in front of like 13,000 at the University of Michigan, just the biggest thrill. Then we lost in double overtime on the buzzer, so it turned out to be my worst moment. But all that culminated in a relationship that me and Coach still has to this day. I spoke to him today.
That's crazy.
For like 2 hours. We talk all the time.
That like player-coach relationship, right? Like, and you talk about like mentors, and I think that we lack that sometimes in the Australian system, like that mentorship, that bond that you have with a coach, because there's so much turnover always. And I don't know whether or not it's just that people don't allow space for it, or like their mentor coach is often separated into two different people. How important do you think that was to building who you were, but also like, how important do you think that is for people now to find that, like young kids listening, parents listening? Why is that important to help a kid succeed in the sporting world?
Wow, that is so. How long we been here? 10 minutes and we into this already? This is deep. It's so important because kids don't know. Like, who do you learn from? Your peers. Guess what? All my peers are knuckleheads.
Yeah.
What they gonna teach me? They're gonna teach me how to do stuff bad.
Yeah.
So the problem is, the adults in the world, they don't like it when a coach takes that kind of influence in your life. Yeah. My father, me and him don't have a great relationship. I mean, it's okay. You know what I mean? But it's not like he was coming to my training sessions, coming to my games. Yeah. He was working 2 jobs. He busy, right? So Coach took me everywhere. Coach would ring me up. Hey, Pee-wee, that's my nickname. He calls me Pee-wee. Yeah, Pee-wee, hey man, check this out. Hey, Pee-wee, I'm gonna come get you. We're gonna go to the movies. Hey, Pee-wee, hey man, I was reading this book. And he would always help me just to learn something. He started this relationship. And when it first started, my mother was like, why is this old dude calling you? Yeah. Like, this ain't normal. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, what's the problem? And over time, like I said, we still talk to this day, but he was always teaching me something. It wasn't like we just was talking, hey, did you see that show the other day on TV? That kind of stuff. It was always some deep conversations that he would have. He was a parole officer. Yeah. He worked with at-risk, kids who was in high just coming out of the juvenile system.
Yeah.
So he was always in that frame of mind trying to help youngsters. And he helped me. He taught me how to believe in myself when I didn't know how. And now I come to Australia, I find myself still to this day, I'm working on it, trying to not be like him with me.
Yeah.
Because I would hold every relationship to that standard.
Yeah.
Me and my coach. Me and my coach did this and we did that. I come here and I was trying that, but like coach said to me, he goes, it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
He goes, I did that with you and you accepted it.
Yep.
Everybody don't accept it.
Yeah.
And what I gotta learn how to do is not force that kind of relationship on people, even because I know how valuable it can be.
Yeah.
But it ain't for everybody.
But it's like a, I don't know, revolving door almost. Like you had someone do that for you, right? So you've experienced the benefit that it can have and the way that it can shape you. And you as a person now, you have the ability to then uplift the people around you also. But sometimes like maybe the kid isn't ready to accept that. Or maybe it is a parent that's like, oh, I'm not sure I'm ready to accept that. And that like, it's like a growth space. Like you have to allow room for, and when I say a kid, I'm not just talking like a young kid. I'm talking like a 18 to 24-year-old athlete as well. Like, you know, speaking for myself, there's a lot of people in my life that aren't ready to accept that type of wisdom or just like guidance in that space. And I think having a mentor or like coach, mentor, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same in the end. Like that is like so important in our growth because that's someone that's so outside of our like immediate circle. You know what I mean? It's like when I go to practice every day, I have the three girls that I talk to my right and the two to my left and the coach that's right in front of me. Having a mentor that's separate to that space, I don't know, something about it just screams growth to me because it's someone that's able to see it from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
I think that it's super, super important.
They're not emotionally in the trenches with you.
Yeah.
Like you said, they remove. They can see it for what it is. Well, sometimes we get emotional. We make the smallest thing the biggest thing, and he can sit on the outside. Well, actually, you try looking at it this way. I think everybody should have some form of mentor, even coaches, even adults.
Yeah.
Because just because you're older, that don't mean you're an authority.
Yeah.
You might think you are. You might act like you're one. But where do you go to learn and get better?
True.
So,
I think that's like it's something you have to continuously work on. And I mean, again, I'm 24, but I think that wouldn't you want to be 34, then 44, then 54, and 64, like still wanting to learn and grow? Like, isn't that part of it? And we're getting there. I'm trying not to jump ahead because there is so many things I want to ask about. But so I guess one thing I want to touch on before we close that chapter of your life is when you talk about that he like taught you how to be confident in yourself. What did that look like? Like learning how to be confident and learning how to accept yourself. What is that process like? And what are some of the things that he taught you?
He taught me how to work hard first. And he taught me how to be honest with myself. Like, I got nothing but examples. So like I said,
Give an example.
I couldn't dribble with my left hand. So he's from Detroit. So Detroit, I'm from Saginaw, which is, let's say, like 100 miles from Detroit. Detroit, he grew up in the inner city. Like Detroit, it's Detroit. You know what I mean? So he would take us to Detroit to play in the summer league. We from Saginaw. It's like going from Ballarat almost to Melbourne. Yeah. So anyway, we get to Detroit, and Detroit got these hood dudes, like for real hood dudes. And we're playing against them. And the whole crowd is yelling out, I'm wearing number 10. And coach told me, man, you got to work on your game. You got to work on your handles. You know, he'd give me a couple of drills, but I wasn't serious about it. I was just happy I was in the team. Settled for too low. Expectations were so low. Yeah. Anyway, the whole crowd yells out, number 10 can't go left. Can you imagine that? That don't happen in Australia.
Actually, I've had that happen to me one time.
Really? What did they say? Anneli can't go left?
Well, it was Anneli can't shoot, and the person guarding me stood in the keyway. Ooh. I got baited like that. I know, continue, but I showed them.
There you go. This 1984, and I'm sitting there going, how they know?
Yeah.
How do they know I can't go left?
Yeah.
So, coach is sitting on the sidelines, and I try to do my usual trick. Go left, come back right. Yeah. He knew it. Steal, layup. Coach, I get the ball out again. Exact same thing happened 3 times in a row. I'm not joking. Now, the 4th time, the crowd's laughing. Yeah. Like number 10 now is a joke. Yeah. The 4-man takes the ball out, gives it to me. I give it back to him. That is the ultimate in defeat. Yeah. I didn't even fight. Yeah. I didn't even try. I quit. I gave it to Steve. who took the ball out, and coach yelled out from the sidelines, "Give it back to him. He got to learn." I was like, wow. He didn't try to protect me.
Yeah.
He didn't try. You got to face these demons.
Yeah.
He did not try to go, "Hey, Eddie, you come and get the ball, other guard." Nope. You need to experience all that this is because you won't work on your left hand.
Yeah.
So when that game finished, and I'm just like, I'm an emotional mess now. He looked at me and just went, "You ready to work now?" I was like, "Yep." Now he let me hit rock. We don't let youngsters hit rock bottom no more.
No.
Because we got to protect them.
Yeah.
We got to massage them and keep them safe.
Yeah.
Coach like, "Nah, man, this is how you got to learn." So that whole summer, left hand, everything left.
Mm-hmm.
I go back the next year. Now it's my senior year. We go back to that same gym in Detroit, exact same team, exact same dude. He sees me. I'm still wearing number 10. I'm number 10, but I'm a different number 10.
number 10.
And I came down. I was like, ha. I was like, ah. And then now coach yells out, "Okay, you ain't got to show off."
I love that.
So he taught me to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
Put the work in. And then he just kept going. And he would never let me relax. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So now I get to college. I had no business going to college, by the way. I was just learning how to play.
Yeah.
But he got me a school. He found me a college to go to. And I had my first 30-point game. I was so proud. I brought back the VHS tape. A VHS tape, for those listening, is a little... So
insert a picture on the overlay. Yep.
So I said, "Coach, check it out." Went to his house. He puts the videotape in. I'm thinking he gonna praise me.
Yeah.
You know what he said? "You come back right on all your moves. As soon as you play against somebody smart, they're gonna figure that out. Get that same move going left." I was like, he will not let me just bask in the glow of something. Keep getting better. These are the things he taught me, and over time, my confidence grew.
And it kind of ingrains in you, right? And it's like, it's something that I say often when like this concept of hard work, right? It makes you feel better about yourself. Like if you know that you spent hours in the gym and you know that you've been doing that, I know that I've been lifting heavy, I'm going to feel more confident to do these things in a game. And that's I would say, if we're talking strictly basketball talk, that would be my step one to those. Like I get so many messages all the time from younger girls who are like, "Oh, like when I train, like I just feel like I'm not ready to do this, or I really want to try this." And it's like, actually, I mean, the confidence you will get from off the court putting in the hours, that's going to be the thing that will even just propel you to try first. And then, there's a lot of mental game that comes in it from there. But that body of work you put in behind, that propels you to try first. And
exactly.
I think that leaks into other areas of life too. It's not just basketball, but like it's a good example for like you build that, it'll give you great step one. And it doesn't mean that like there's so many other facets that we need to work on at the same time. But the hard work thing, I mean, it's just, it also makes you feel good. Like, I don't know, something about doing something that you've worked so hard on. Like, I bet you when you saw that guy again and he was expecting you to go back to your right and you were like, "I'm staying on my left."
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. See, that's easy for you to say. It ain't easy probably, but you a hard worker though.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that you say something like that. I'll say to people, me and coach was talking about you today.
Yeah.
He said, "Damn, Pee-wee. Number 24. I said, "Coach, you got the work ethic of 3 people. You put 3 normal people over here. I'm taking on the league because that's now it's kind of fair."
Yeah.
But what about a person who isn't used to working hard? What about that person?
So I've actually, I've got some people in my life like that because so me and my brothers, we're wired really differently. My older brother, he's wired to kind of relax and let things come to him because that's, a complete opposite to me, right? So I'm on one end of the spectrum being like, I got to work harder. I got to play harder. I got to try harder. It's not just basketball, it's school. If I do more, then more will happen. And then he's on the other end of the spectrum that gets a bit scared, so just kind of lets things happen. Now, something for him recently, it comes out of routine that people that are perceived as lazy aren't lazy 90% of the time. It's just a fear behind it, right? So stripping that back and having him be like, "Oh, I'm not actually lazy. I was just scared of trying this," and then creating routine. You'll see people thrive in the right environment and they'll realize that they're not, being a hard worker is not something you're born with. It's not a talent that you're born with, working hard. It's a mindset, right? And these people just have never given themselves the opportunity to fall into that And because everyone's wired differently, people's paths to get there look different.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're not capable of it. Like I look at my brother and I know he's capable of amazing things. I watch him do amazing things every day just in his general life.
Yeah.
But because he's not wired the same way that I was, his way of getting there, completely different.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean people aren't capable of it.
That makes so much sense. We don't take the time to find out.
Yeah.
But we'll just go, he didn't pass the eye test. See you later. Next.
Yeah. Or that person or like what people will say is like, oh, they just don't have it. Everyone's got it. Some people have it more than others. Some people have that grit and that determination, that drive. And, we'll talk about what motivates that. But it doesn't mean that people aren't capable of it. 90% of the time, they just don't know. They just don't know they're capable of it. And I know that's a generalization. I'm aware.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm moving on to this next part. We talk about you as a basketball player and in college and whatever, and like kind of growing into the person that you are. Post-basketball, right? Post-basketball Damon, before we get into current Damon, when your career finished, what was that like for you in terms of like having basketball be such a huge part of your life for such a long time, and then you closed the door on that? What did that look like for you?
My last game is in Townsville. I was playing in Townsville Croxton. I was impersonating a basketball player the whole year. Like my confidence eroded. Like I wasn't a Wollongong Hawk Damon when I got to Townsville. Got hurt. Different style, different roster, everything was different. Yeah. And it didn't suit me. I tried. I'm 38 now. I think I was 37 or 38. And like, that's it. I know it's coming. You know what I mean? So I was already thinking about, I got to get a job when I get back to Melbourne. I got to, basketball. I had a good run. I didn't think I'd last this long. So when we played that last game, I'm pretty sure it was against Cairns too. I just stayed in the locker room and just cried. I just put a towel over my head and go, up. That's the career. Not too bad, I guess. But, anyway, I go back and I started playing state league and, just to kind of keep active. But it wasn't, it wasn't anything like what I would call real ball. Yeah. Not real ball. It was good ball. But it was like, I'm done. I'm in my 40s. I'm still hanging around. And, them late night training sessions in July. Yeah. Half your team don't show up. It's just like, what am I doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I walked away from it and I was like, you know what? It's out of my system. I think basketball's out of my system. So as a player, I just thought I achieved. I thought I overachieved. I think, well, what if I'd have gotten to the NBL when I was younger, when I was really kind of quick and I was more athletic? Maybe I could have. But no point playing that game that coulda, woulda, shoulda, if was a fifth game. So that was just it. So doors closed. I just moved on to the next thing.
But those what ifs, right? Did they play in your head often as you were closing that door per se? Like, how did you battle that thought of like, oh, what if I was, I got in when I was younger? Did that consume you at any point, or you just had somehow left that there?
Nah, because I grew up, my mother used to always say, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. A fifth is like a gallon over here.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
And if I said, well, if I had this or if I had that, if I was 6'3", my mother said, if was a fifth, like why are you wasting your time ifing? Yeah. So if was never a part of who I was. So I knew when I played NBL, people thought I was quick. I used to be quicker than that. Yeah. Does that mean I was an NBL player back then? That doesn't mean that. I'm just saying I had more physical attributes. Yeah. You caught me at 33 and I had to kind of work hard to kind of stay in shape and, so I didn't really trip on the fact that, I wish I'd have had a go when I was 24. I might have had a longer career. I say like, I'm not going to be greedy. I got more than what I thought I was going to get. Yeah. So that's gratitude. Okay. I was like, wow, I got an NBL. Because I thought I was going to be in Ballarat until I was 40. Yeah. I had a house, had a job, got a great support system. In-laws live around the corner. I was like, hey, Ballarat, I'm just going to play Siebel until, Yeah. And then when NBL came called, I was like, oh, this is a bonus. Yeah. That's how I looked at it, a bonus. Like, I'm here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. Yeah. Okay. And did that ever, did you ever think, and maybe this is something that you thought about later, but did you ever think that that whole, your potential, do you feel like you operated within your greatest potential in those years that you played in the league?
And has that been something that you've reflected on? Or is that something that now you kind of focus on? I'm focusing on my potential now, not my potential back then. That falls under that kind of barrier.
Yeah, I didn't max out. I didn't max out when I was at Wollongong. I played my best basketball at Wollongong. Brendan Joyce had a way of bringing out the best in me. He always put me in situations of my strengths.
Yeah.
I was the smallest guard in the league, and he could protect me on defense. He could put certain plays in, certain systems where I could thrive. Not that he would run these snatch sets, but like I might have had a 1-4 flat play, depending on the situation of the game, pick and rolls. I had that kind of stuff. But I didn't max out. I didn't shoot the ball that well. I've never been a good shooter.
Yeah.
I was a guy that would shoot.
Yeah.
Like I thought I could make it.
Yeah.
And you better not leave me open because I'll shoot it. But I didn't work on my jump shot like I probably should have.
Yeah.
Especially off the dribble, out of my right hand. I got better as I got out of the NBL by attacking the weaknesses that I should have been attacking when I was there.
Yeah.
But see, you know what happens? When you're there, you think you're there.
Yeah.
I'm in the league. Yeah, I'm at the club. Where the drink cards at? Yo, we just went 21-8 for the season. I'm in the ground. I got a chip already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't have the same. I mean, I still played hard, but I didn't attack my weaknesses.
The way you do now.
Yeah, like now this my lifestyle. But even back then in the league, I don't think anybody forced me like the dudes in Detroit did.
Yeah.
The dude in Detroit made me go left and isolated me and exposed me.
Yeah.
In the league, dudes want to pick me up full court. My ball screens wasn't getting trapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I came off the bench. I wouldn't have been at the top of anybody's scouting report. You know what I mean? So not that you need that, but that would have really forced the issue, I thought.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. All right. I'm ready to talk about the missions.
Estás listo? Are you ready?
I am ready for the missions. So for people that don't know, Damon, what are your missions and explain them and maybe just give us a little blurb.
Thank you for not saying challenges. Thank you for that. They are missions.
They are missions.
The difference you ask between a challenge and a mission? A challenge is something that you try to do. Mm-hmm. A mission is something that you have to do. Totally different. Yep. There's no gray area when it comes to missions. So I was playing one-on-one with my boy, Ash.
Yep.
Ash Breyer. And we was playing, and like Ash is 20 years younger than me, maybe 19, whatever. And this particular day, we was playing one-on-one at the Eltham Leisure Center. What we normally do, go 9 games of one-on-one, first to 5. And I'm not better than Ash, by the way, but I would play the full 9 games. This particular day, I quit after like 3 games. And it's funny because the way I said it, I knew it was bad. Mm. When I knew I was so exhausted, I couldn't play no more, I remember going, I said, hey, Ash, I'm not going to be able to continue. He looks at me like, what do you mean? I was like, if I was to continue, I probably could pass out. He's like, you quitting? Like, I was like, it was the lowest point.
Yeah.
It was Detroit all over again. It was the end of my NBL career, all rolled up into one. I got home, said to my wife, I said, Lisa, I just quit. I said, when did I go soft? When did that happen? Oh, you're 45 or 46. Ash is 20 years younger than you. I was like, no. You're missing the point. I quit. So as that happened, I just had started, a mate of mine told me about David Goggins. The Navy SEAL, the former Navy SEAL, arguably the toughest man walking earth. He goes, man, you got to get this book. So I get this book and it's called Living with the SEAL. Actually by Jesse Itzler, about David Goggins.
Yeah.
Read the book and I was like, oh, that's the blueprint. Oh, you got to suffer. Oh, and so all this, I said, okay, I'm going to have a mission. I'm going to start. This is it. As everybody says on January 1st of every year, that's it. Now I'm getting serious. I still got the video of my little chunky ass running around the oval 5 times. I was like, I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to go up a lap every day.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of started. And then the things that I learned about myself during the mission is I just have epiphanies.
Yeah. So what was your first mission, was just running around an oval every day? Like
I started with 5 laps of the oval and I said it was January, so I'm going to go up a lap every day. And then I'm going to do 10 chin-ups. Yeah. And go up 10 for the month of January every day.
This was 2020?
2021.
Okay.
So we're in lockdown. I'm working from home. I got time.
Yeah.
So 6 laps, 7, next day 8. I remember when I got up to around 15 laps, I was going to bed early. My body's like, what is this?
Yeah.
What's going on? Stuff was hurting. I remember calling my buddy in Ballarat, E. I said, man, how the hell am I going to run 22 laps tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do it. And eventually I would just kind of keep going. Next thing you know. So by the time it finished, I think the last day was like a 35 lap day, which I think worked out to be about 12 Ks.
Yeah.
12 and a bit.
So it's interesting because like you said it a little bit like, oh, how am I going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I remember having this conversation with you when you had just completed some sort of mission. We were talking about when you have that initial thought, oh, I don't want to do it. You have to do it. You just have to do it. If you are lying in bed and you think, oh, I really don't want to get up and do it, you have to do it. The moment I don't want to do comes out of your mouth, you have to do it.
Exactly.
Tell me why.
Because them your demons. Because we're wired for comfort. We're wired to be comfortable. Can you just turn the heater up? A little bit cold in here. Can you turn the heater down? It's still too hot in here. Can I get a glass of water? Throat's a bit dry. This shirt don't fit. Can I get a smaller size? My short. Everything is about comfort, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you remove comfort from people, they freak out.
Yep.
And the real character is exposed. And that I found out is called emotional resilience. I didn't have that term in my mind before. It was physical toughness, mental toughness. That was it. And I was physically tough. I was mentally tough. And physically tough is, I can do this. Yeah, I can take that.
Yeah.
Mentally tough is, I don't have a problem thinking about that. I know what you're saying. I get it. But emotional toughness, emotional resilience, now we talking.
Yeah.
Because when you don't want to do something, them your emotions.
Yep.
I don't want to get up. It's too cold outside. It's too wet outside. My shoes, my feet hurt. That's emotional, right?
Yeah.
And we cave to that desire.
Yeah.
So that desire is what made me quit against Ash.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to keep pushing. You know why? Because it hurt. It hurt. It hurt physically.
Yep.
And I was like, I can't deal. I had no resilience. I couldn't tough it out. I couldn't take them ass whoopings for another 4 games. I quit. So now, here's another thing. Because of our strong desire for comfort, we don't make decisions. I can hear it in people's language all the time. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm thinking about doing this. Well, maybe I'll do this. You know what? Probably one day I go, are you going to do it or not?
Yep.
Like, how come you won't make the decision? I noticed that. So here I am, I'm trying to concoct a devious mission.
Yeah.
I'm trying, because January finished. February, my body's cooked, but I need something for March. And I'm sitting here thinking about tough stuff. I was like, man, don't do that. That's too hard. I was like, what? Who said that?
Yeah.
Who said that? I said, oh, then my demons, they don't want me to do it. What?
I have to do it.
This has been happening all my life. There's that voice that says, be careful. You might hurt yourself. You're too old. Take it easy. Go
it's
slow.
Winter. Yeah.
Why don't you wait for the... I was like, oh, that's what makes me hesitate to make a decision. So now the number one thing is make a decision. Say it. Say it out loud. I'm going to do it every day.
Yep.
So now once I've said it, now I got to police it. And this is what happens. See, this is the difference with a mission and a challenge. If you say I'm going to do it every day, I want to challenge myself to do this every day. And then you take a day off, it's like, I'll start again later.
Yeah.
Nah.
You ever hear those people when they talk about a goal that they're setting, or say person X says that they want to go to the gym every day, or they want to eat healthier every day. But if this happens, it would be okay. They like allow yourself shortfall, I guess. Like, so I'm going to eat well this week. But if on Sunday, grandma makes this, I will eat it. And that won't disrupt this said plan that I have. Being in a mission and holding yourself to that, tell me about the hardest day that you've had in one of your missions. Or you've told me about a few of your hard days. Tell me about one of the stories you have where people can really understand what emotional resilience you had to go through, and physical and mental. Maybe one of those stories with your little carry bag on, and one of those, like, what was that moment for you?
Yeah, so many of them. When everything started to hurt, right? Like, there's one thing in being sore, but then there's some serious pain. Like, say, for example, I I had some strain in my calf. I got to go up a hill. This particular mission, I had to run up this hill, and I had to go up a lap every other day, and I was wearing a 20-kilo vest. Mind you, I was going the other day I was running 15 Ks with no vest. Mm-hmm. And I initially said, "Why don't you run the 15 Ks with the vest?" And you know what? I said, "Oh, you don't want to run up the hill with the vest. Now you gotta run up the hill with the vest."
And that's how you structured it.
So now I hurt my calf, and I'm thinking, did I just tear my calf? Is it torn? I was like, oh man, it's hurting really bad, right? So what do? What do I do now? Here you are, Damon. Maybe you should go home and have a look at this calf. Maybe you should go to the physio. Maybe you should go to the doctor. I don't know. It's something ain't right with it though. I said, now I got to finish. There's no not finishing. And you know what happened? The body adjusted. It adapted. I learned. I was tippy-toeing up the hill, and I was just kind of, I crouched down low, and all of a sudden, I found a way to run that didn't completely
strain.
And I said, I'll worry about this later.
Yeah.
And you know what happens after you do that? You get stronger.
Yeah.
It's like, that calf couldn't hurt me. You thought that was going to take me out. Now look, did I just do that? I surprised myself with what I could achieve. Oh, then I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I been leaving on the table all these years?
They say that growth happens in the uncomfortable, right? Growth never happens in the comfortable.
Yeah.
Growth never happens in the like when you are put in situations where you're out of your comfort zone, that is the only place you can actually grow. The only place. Otherwise, like you're in this little bubble and you're kind of hitting little edges and you're kind of like, oh, I'm trying, but boop, like that's what I hit. And I guess like for you, so people can understand the magnitude now of the challenges that you've had, what has been your last 3 missions?
Let me back up to the triathlon mission.
Yeah.
I've never done a triathlon before in my life. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm going to do 10 of them. No, it was 8 of them, I think. 8 of them. So I didn't
in 1 month? What was your timeline?
In the month. Yeah. In the month. Everything is monthly missions. So I had to go buy a bike. I don't have a bike. I haven't rode a bike since I was probably 10 years old.
Yeah.
Swimming. I haven't swam since I was 8. I know how to swim. My aunt taught me how to swim. And I actually called her. I hadn't spoken to her in a long time. I said, Ollie. She's like, Damon, is that you, boy? I said, yeah. I said, guess what? I'm back in the pool. I said, but I'm struggling. She said, what you mean, boy? I taught you how to swim. I said, I was 8. That was 47 years ago. Anyway, I get in the pool. I went and got a membership. So now I got to run 10 Ks. Mm-hmm. Sorry, the first is a 1.5 K swim, 40 K bike, 10 K run. I got to do 8 of those. And I'm on time because I was doing some weekend stuff with NBL. So I couldn't be messing around. My back goes, so I'm on K25. Mm-hmm. I go into the little toilet block to fill up my water bottle. I lean over, back goes out. Took my breath away. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, first thing that came to mind was the mission's compromised. But ain't no quitting. Because now I'm like, and I joke, and my wife don't like when I joke like this, but I say, they'll find me here. Yeah. Because I ain't leaving. Yep. I get back, I pulled the bike down on its side so I could get my leg over it. I get on it. And I'm like, I got 15 more Ks. I get that done. The hill to get home is like this. I get off the bike. I walk the bike up the hill. Get it home. I lay down on my back in the cave. I'm laying there. And I can't move. I can't move. Like I'm in spasm. I'm laying, I'm going, no. The mission can't die like this. No. Yeah. I said, rise, Damon. I say it out loud too. I talk to myself all the time. Yeah. Rise, Damon. Mm-hmm. Do you know how bad you have to be to get up from this situation? Look at this, man. This is the perfect cop-out. Everybody would understand. Yeah. Oh, well, Damon, that's okay, man. Your back went out. You got to dodge your back. Nope. I rose and I got out there and I just shuffled them 10 Ks. And with each K, I get closer to 10. Yeah. And I would get stronger. I go, oh my God, look at you, man. Yeah. So you know what I mean? So that is what emotional resilience in action looks like. Yep. But it's also the language I use. Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Cause I like when you, for outsiders first hearing about this stuff, they'd be like, man, this guy's crazy. Like, look what he's doing to his body. Blah, blah, blah. How does these physical like challenges that you faced, like your back spasming or help you emotionally and mentally? Give me the correlation.
Okay. And first, let me go back and answer your question because I didn't answer it. My last mission was I had to run with my weight vest, 25 kilos around my block. And you seen my block. You seen that hill. I got to go do it once. And every other day, I got to do it, add a lap. So eventually, it was going to be 12 of them. Yeah. That's with 25 kilos. I've never carried that much weight. The other days, I had to run a half marathon with 20 kilos. I've never ran a half marathon with that much weight. The previous was 15 kilos. I was like, I'm going up 5. Yeah. And then, because we had Singapore, I said, I'm going to run a marathon when I get to Singapore. So my back is just like, by the time I got to like lap 6, I'm squirming. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this weight vest is like, it's tearing skin off my back. I'm wearing 2 shirts underneath it, and I got to be at work too. Yeah, there's that too. I got a job in the real world.
David doesn't do this for full time either.
So I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so I can get ready for work by 7:30.
I just like to pause and saying I've been encouraging him to make a TikTok where he vlogs about his missions, and everyone's nodding their head because they think it's a great idea. But continue.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was that previous mission, and it finished in Singapore. And you saw me. We had the team meeting. Yeah. And I went out and running. So anyway, what happens when the body hurts is pain, physical pain, shocks you. Yeah. Emotional pain is devastating too. Oh my God, emotional pain. Oh, what? That's my heart's broke. Oh, that's emotional pain. Yeah. That hurts. But that don't affect my legs. Yeah. Mental pain, how am I gonna be able to, I'm stressing out. That hurts too. Doesn't affect my legs. Yeah. Physical pain, I got a cramp. Yeah. That hurts. My shoulder blades are inflamed. There's no skin on my left shoulder blade. Yeah. There's blood there. My toenail, my feet hurt so bad, Anneli, to stand still and not move hurt. Yeah. I was just like, I got to get off my feet. Yeah. That physical pain I noticed really shocks the system. I was like, it puts doubt in your head straight away. Because you know why? I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. I'm physically not just uncomfortable, I'm in an extreme discomfort. I want this to stop.
Yeah, because then that's our first thought, right? Is like, it's stop. It's stop.
Yes.
Why? I just don't.
Because we don't like it. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We damn sure don't want to be in pain. Yes. Can you stop this, please? Let go, that hurts. Now I go, physical pain, welcome. Yeah. And then I visualize a physical pain being. And I visualize him kicking my door in. Poof, what's up in here? Yeah. What you doing? This physical pain. You scared, huh? Yeah. And I go, hey, physical pain.
Here it is.
Let's talk. Yeah. Let's go. So I sit there and I go, okay, now I got to be able to focus. I got to go somewhere else. So instead of thinking about, oh my God, I got another 25 Ks to do. I was running, the other mission I had to run 80 Ks twice. Yeah. And I ran 76 of those Ks on my street. And I'm in agony. But each K, I'm thinking, how am I going to run another? Yeah. How am I going to get? And I would just go, see that tree over there? Get to the tree. Yep. Get to the tree and go, yes, turn around. Get to the house. And then I would notice my legs. Even though I'm feeling all these emotions, I look down on my legs and go, they still moving. Yeah. They're fine. It's the emotions that ain't fine. But doing missions like this, calluses makes my emotions harder. Yeah. So now it's going to take a whole lot more discomfort to really rattle me. So I'm thinking, what if I could do that? What else could I do? Yeah. I'm going to keep upping it. I'm going to find out.
So how did you change your that mental monologue, right? Because we all have it. Everyone has that little voice in their head that tells them to stop doing stuff when it gets hard, or that tries to give you outs, or it just talks to you while you do day-to-day life, right? And because also this comes into like the negative self-talk too. Like it's such a negative place in people's heads sometimes. I say people, I am people. Me is people, guys. It is a negative place in there. And so to be able to change that mental thought process to like, oh, I can't do this, or how am I going to do this, to like, Damon, just get to that next spot. Was that something you read about? Or was that part of like the Navy SEAL, like just choosing the next focal point? Because like choosing that next focal point takes away from like the scariness of your own thought, because you're only thinking about that tree, you know? Like how did you learn how to do that?
Each question keeps getting better and better. You're so good at this. This the very interesting part. It's natural.
Yeah.
It happens automatically. I'll go into the missions petrified. How am I going to do it? But let me back up. I go into the mission with a statement, like the mission statement.
Okay.
Just like everybody got a mission statement in business. My mission statement is, I will die before I quit.
Yep.
There is no quit in me.
Yep.
Quit don't live here no more. That's the statement.
Yep.
Everything now supports that, right? Okay, so now when it hits the fan, when I'm really hurting and I'm thinking, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here. I go, yeah, but we ain't quitting.
Yeah.
So what's the other option?
What's the alternative?
Now I got to find a way. It unlocks the find a way part.
Yeah, part of your brain.
We don't never get to the find a way part.
Yeah.
We get to the excuse making part,
Yep.
the blame part, the scapegoat part. We don't get to the figure it out part. If you sat there long enough, good ideas pop up.
Yeah.
So I'm running and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, mission finishes. I'm like, oh my God, I just did that.
Yeah.
Another mission finishes. Boom. I'm on mission 12.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I think different. My buddy just told me the other day, he goes, do you know you walk different, you talk different, your lane, everything is different because of these missions. And I said, that wasn't what the intention was. The intention was to get in shape.
Yeah.
Because I was soft because I quit against Ash. That was the mission.
But you realized that you weren't just physically soft, that you were mentally soft, right? Yeah.
The emotional knowledge came a little bit later. I didn't understand the correlation between emotions at the time. During mission 1, I was starting to dabble. I was just starting to dabble, right? By now, I'm on mission 15. I know now, and I said to my buddy, I go, this is just a byproduct. If you put yourself in hell long enough, your body will transform.
Yeah.
Your mental, emotional, and physical body will adapt. And that's what we don't think will happen. We think, oh, it's too cold out here. I'm going to die. Yeah. You know what happened? You'll be out there, you just kind of, what time is it? Yeah. Oh, I forgot my toes was numb. I forgot. Yeah. All of a sudden, that resolve just happens. But you got to be prepared to suffer to get to that point, though.
Yeah, it's so true because it's like the comfort and all of that stuff. It's all rooted in this little thing called fear, right? So we fear being uncomfortable. We fear that. And a lot of that time, the fear comes from the fear of failure. And for me, that's what my fear comes from. I don't go as hard as I can in one certain area, or I don't take that shot in a game, or I don't make that connection with a teammate because I have a fear. I'm scared. And so when you're making decisions out of fear, it doesn't get you to the right spots because that's not you making decisions. That's fear making decisions. That's not you. That's not me. I'm not making the decision not to do this. I'm not making this decision. That is my fear. So for you, how has implementing these missions taught you how to not make decisions out of fear, or taught you that you have it in your past life and you continue to, or how has that come up in this journey of yours?
You ready?
Yes. Talk to me.
Fear don't matter.
Yeah.
I know this now. You're right. When we scared of something, we run from it. Did you hear that? Oh, and then you run the other way. Fear makes you leave when all the action is right here. You need to stay. All this stuff going on around. Oh my God. I go, no, stay in it. Just stay in it. Yeah. It's not that scary after all. You be in the dark for so long, your eyes start to adjust. It's like, oh, I can see. You got to stay in it though. So how do you stay in it when you're scared? Yeah. Go back to your mission statement. I ain't quitting. Yeah. I ain't quitting. Done. Simple. It is that simple. Damon, why don't you come in? Your favorite show's on. Why don't you come in and eat? Somebody just made a phone call for it. No, I'm not leaving here. It is, I can't put into words the resolve. When I say that, ain't nothing else matters. Yeah. I mean, it would take a literal act of God to make me go, what? It was a storm. It was lightning, thunder, and pissing down rain, and I shouldn't be out here. And my wife looking at me like, are you nuts? She goes, it's a storm. Yeah. You know what I said? I am the storm. I'm the storm.
You know, I've got that tattooed on my back. Like, I'm dead serious. I have the devil whispers, you can't withstand the storm. The warrior replied, I am the storm. I have that tattooed on my back.
Yes. So I'm like this, Mother Nature, is that all you got? Yeah. Is what, you think that thunder gonna, no, I'm on a mission. The mission is pass fail. So you know what I mean? I don't leave any room for interpretation. There's no room for, maybe next time. Yeah. Oh, I came close this time. Well, I'm going to get you next time. No, I'm getting you right now.
Yeah.
Today. So that happens over the course of putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. Mm-hmm. And I ain't talking about uncomfortable like, oh, this shirt's a little tight. I'm talking about where that doubt creeps in.
Yeah.
Because that's when you find out who you are. Because that fear that you were talking about, that will rule you. It becomes a habit.
It does.
You don't even know you're doing it. Yeah. The habit will be that strong. And the emotional side of things never gets factored into. It's like, and like I said, I might have said to you before about the whys, the 5 whys. Why am I scared? Answer that. Why is that? Why is that? If you get to the 5th why, you get to the core of the problem.
Yeah.
And then it's a matter of, do you have what it takes to overcome it? Or are you happy? So that's when I would make a decision and these missions were getting tougher. And if I said to myself, if I've identified a soft aspect of me, an aspect I don't like, and I don't do nothing about it, what does that make me?
Yep.
I can't live that way.
Yeah. I think it takes enough to be able to actually see something that you don't like about yourself. Most people just go like this, you know. Most people just cover their eyes and goes, "Oh, I don't want to see it."
Yeah, don't look over here.
Exactly, or just make an excuse for it. But there is something I want to ask you about because I remember, and I've driven past Damon while he's doing one of his runs, his missions. He's running and he is talking to himself out loud. And if you roll down the windows, you'll hear like, I'm fucking bad. Like, I got this shit. Like, he's running and he's like, that's positive self-talk. That's out loud. And like, so my psychologist tells me, and I was telling you about this when we were in row 59 having our little chats, is that one of the things she gets me to do is when I stand in front of the mirror in the morning is like actually say nice things to myself. And that sounds so surface level, right? Like, look at yourself in the mirror and say like, you are good. Like, you are nice. Blah, blah. But like, it's hard. Now try doing that in those uncomfortable situations. And I run. I don't run 80Ks, but I like running. I go on my little 10, 12K runs, and I don't listen to music when I run either. Because I like to process the thoughts that go into my head. And that's something we spoke about last year. Was when you run, you said to me, try and run without music. And I tried, and now I can't run with music. So it's the once I get a thought into my head and then actually figuring that out. But then it's like, as I'm turning around to, home stretch, or like if I want to give a bit, I'm like, God, I'm fast.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm so strong. Oh. Yeah. And that's not just in running. That's in when I do basketball stuff like that, out loud, positive self-talk.
Yeah.
How has that affected you? And at what point in your missions did you actually implement that? And do you implement it in other areas of your life now too? I
do. Everything now is that I feel like it's 2 Damons. I feel like there was pre-mission Damon and now there's post-mission Damon. I'm different. I'm different. There's elements that you might see in post-mission Damon that you guys saw signs of that in pre-mission Damon. Yeah. Yep, there was signs. There was bones there, but it wasn't mature. And all it took was to rattle me, and then I'd fall over. If you upset me, this is emotional resilience again, all you gotta do is upset me. If you did something I didn't like, if you did something I was confused with, if you did something I just didn't agree with, I'm like, what are you doing? I ain't doing that. I had attitude. Like, what? That don't make no sense. Then I would go out of my way to prove to you how little sense it made. This is emotional immaturity. Yeah. And this is what I notice in humans. Yeah. In the adult humans. Yeah. All I got to do is rattle your cage. Yeah. That's all I got to do. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, my cage, I'm going to rattle my own damn cage. I want to rattle my own cage. It's raining outside. Ooh, shit, I better hurry and get out there. Yeah. And I'm thinking rain harder. Yeah. So now I'm out there and the shit's hitting the fan. And now who out here to go, when I finish, hey, Damon, good job. I'll post something on Instagram. Oh, Damon, man, you're inspirational. All these nice compliments. Where are those compliments at 5 o'clock in the morning when it's a storm out there? Where they at? They are nowhere. I was like, oh, they don't really matter. They're nice and I appreciate it. But what am I saying to myself? Yeah. I got to be my own cheerleader. I can give myself goosebumps. I can just clap myself up. You know where I learned this from? My high school coach. Yeah. When I was in 11th grade, he came in, we were all stretching before practice, and coach said, damn, Blue, our colors was blue and white, so he called us Blue. Yeah. He's like, damn, Blue, we gonna practice like this, man. We gotta set the tone. We gotta get it hyped in here. Come on, fellas, talk it up. Bring some energy. And we all sitting around going, we don't know what to say. Yeah. So we go, yeah, Johnny. Hey, Pee-wee. Yeah, I see you over there, Eddie. All of a sudden, a coach we walking by though. Come on, Pee-wee. Yes, sir. We're going to get live today, Blue. Come on, fellas. And all of a sudden, we hyped. Yeah. So now I'm by myself and I'm running, it's dark, and I'm just, come on, Damon. No, man. You got this, Damon. Look at you out here, Damon. They didn't see this coming, big fella. You got this. And all of a sudden, that bought me time to get my second win. That to rise some momentum, as opposed to how many Ks I got to go. You know what I mean? Because we'll talk like that to ourselves too. But I would never say that out loud. I brought Cleo with me on one. You know Cleo. We was bear crawling.
I know this story. Continue.
We bear crawling. And I'm struggling. I went 100 meters and had to stop 4 times. It hurt that bad. I was like, oh my God, these bear crawls for real. I eventually started bear crawling. So me and Cleo go around the oval, 1.6 Ks. And I'm about to just collapse because apparently I found out the human being isn't supposed to be bent over like a bear for long. It's not healthy to the human body.
Not healthy to the humans.
So I'm just about to collapse. And Cleo goes, no, Dad. I was like, I popped back up. I said, I got a little bit more. And we talked on the way home. I said, had you not said that, I was going down. You brought me back up. I should have said that myself. But we get so caught up in our own misery that we can't talk. So I'm teaching myself how to talk when I'm miserable. Because anybody can talk when you're happy, when the sun's shining. Anybody can do that. But talk when it's, when it's drama filled.
So how does that in your work life, right? So you're outside, your real life, Damon life. When you encounter people in your professional life at work, or I don't know, Susie at the store, whatever, and you feel they're trying to like rattle you, or like people say things you don't like. How does all these things that you accomplish in your missions help you in that area of your life?
Because it's a habit now. It's habits. So everything I do to survive a mission, to execute a mission, to secure a mission, it's in me. It's alive, right? I go to work. Example. Our team leader, I'm a case manager, homelessness organization. Team leader goes off on long service or whatever leave. There's an opening for an acting team leader, and I don't want it. You know why I don't want it? Too much responsibility, too much extra work. Got to deal with the admin side of things, got to deal with too much other stuff. I just want to clock in, clock out, and go home. I heard myself think that.
And now you got to do it.
Now I got to do it. And guess what my interview was like? So I had to put in an expression of interest. First, I heard myself with those same negative thoughts. I was, oh, no. Oh, you scared. No, you're doing it. So, hello, my name is Damon Lowery. I would like to apply for the acting team leader position. And the reason why I'm applying, and I said this, the reason why I'm applying is because I don't want it.
I cannot believe you actually
I wrote
said that.
I said, I'm applying because I don't want it. I'm apprehensive, which means I need to do this for my growth. I expanded on it, but that's how it started. So now I get the face-to-face interview. And I can feel all the apprehension. I don't really, you talk about comfort zone?
Man,
I don't. But I said, okay, I sat in there and I got the manager, the big boss in there, and she's looking at me. She's going, Damon, that was a very interesting expression of interest. She said, can you talk more about that? I said, yeah. I said, well, obviously I'm scared and apprehensive to do it because of what it'll entail. I said, I've been a case manager for over a decade and I know how to do that. This team leader stuff, I ain't really, I see myself as more of a soldier as opposed to a general. I said, so for that reason, I'm apprehensive. And I know it, but I'm scared to do it. So that's why I'm in here right now. You're looking at a scared dude. Who's overcoming his fears. And damn it, she gave it to me. She said, congratulations. I'm like, shit, I didn't want it.
I love that. I can just imagine her reading like your application being like, I'm applying for this job because I don't want. I would have given you an interview just there, just to hear you talk about it. Like, I want to hear what he has to say. And this is a good segue for me because you are a man. You are also a middle-aged man, and being vulnerable is difficult for men in general. And I want to talk about how your vulnerability and your ability to talk about like things that make you uncomfortable, and I don't know, maybe just in general that's evolved since starting your missions, or also like how it compares to you now versus when you were a basketball player. What is the word vulnerability? What does that even mean to you?
Pre-mission Damon, to be vulnerable was to open yourself up for criticism, for evaluation, for assessment. Open yourself up.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to know the deep, dark.
Yeah.
I don't want you to know that about me. Because then you might think differently of me. I want you to like me.
Yeah.
That's the problem too.
Yeah.
I want you to like me. I can't let you know how I really feel.
Yeah.
I got to send my representative over. This is Damon's representative. Layman.
Layman Gary.
Can you just talk down on Lee, please? Because I don't,
Yeah.
So I would know how to hide.
Yeah.
I'd hide little bitty tiny things I didn't like about myself. I'd hide it. But now, post-mission Damon, I know that's fear can never rule me again. I've made my mission statement. It's non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. I will look for discomfort until I get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'll be comfortable being uncomfortable because ain't uncomfortable coming.
Yeah.
Ain't always here anyway.
Yeah.
But can you deal with it? That's the deal. That's the only difference. Some people know how to deal with it. Some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people hide from it. Some people run to it.
Yeah.
I've made up my mind. I don't care no more. Now, sometimes I feel like, yeah, but you're saying that because you're 55.
Yeah.
With 25-year-old, Damon was super vain at 25.
Yeah.
I'm not that vain no more. There's still some vainness in me. Don't make no mistakes about it. Small example, look at this raggedy beard on my face.
Yeah.
I'm curious what it's gonna look like. That's the only reason I'm growing it. It don't look good. I don't like it. You know what it does? It makes me look old. So now listen to my demons.
Yeah.
You 55. Look at your old ass gray beard.
Yeah.
It ain't no smooth all black gray beard. It ain't no all black beard. It looks all debonair, does it?
Yeah.
You look like an old man. So I'm getting ready to shave it. What you shaving it for? Oh, you scared because you don't want to. You uncomfortable? Leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it. Hey man, you got to go do this video shoot. You got to go do this show. You got to go do this. Better shave. Nope, not doing it.
Yep.
Because you don't get the win no more. My whole life has been built around hiding out, not being vulnerable, being scared. That dude don't live here no more.
Compare that version of yourself to the kid walking from the bus stop that you told us about at the start. Like that's like if you were to look back on that version of you, right? What would you tell that kid? What would you say to that kid?
I cried talking to that little boy.
Yeah.
That little boy, he just wanted to be accepted. He just wanted to fit in. Mm-hmm. You know what I say to him? Fit in for what, man? Who you trying to fit into? You want to hang them knuckleheads over there? Why you got them on a pedestal? Because you don't want to walk this path by yourself? I look at it now, it's like a metaphor now. Me being by myself, head down, just chugging along, whatever. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm doing now on my missions. I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I don't run in packs. I'm very social, as you know.
Yeah. I
don't run in packs. I ought to tell that little boy, no, man, you good. You good right now. You safe. You okay. Yeah. Don't try to be something else. Because, you know, that the in crowd, I wasn't in the cool crowd. I remember when I first went to my first dance. When I walked in, it was like the whole place stopped. Damon's here, everybody. They used to call me L7. That's a square. L7 in the house.
Oh my God.
That's how little Damon, you know what I mean? So now here's Damon in the bathroom trying to practice his dance moves so he can fit in.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. But it's Damon. It's a little boy who don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't have the guidance. So now that would be my advice to him.
I really like that. I like that. When I talk about like looking back on your younger self, like Marina and I were having this conversation the other day. It's like little me would be so proud. Like little me, like, oh, they're looking at me, looking up, thinking, wow, like look at what you've achieved, right? And do you, in your missions and I guess like in your next, looking forward, are you a planner? Like, do you plan out like your next week, your next month, your next like goal setting for you? What does goal setting look like now? And how important is that to your kind of day to day, I guess?
It doesn't, I don't do any goal setting. Like my missions, I plan those.
Yeah. They're
meticulous because my life's busy. I got a full-time job. I got stuff when the NBL season's happening, there's stuff going on. And so I don't have a lot of time. So I got to go, okay, this has to happen at 4:00. This has to happen at 4:30. What time is it now? I got to go to bed, 9:00. Right, I got to set the alarm for 3:30. Got it. It's got to be like that. The mission planning is meticulous. I sit there and I plot it out. I write it down, look at it and go like this, okay. I think what could go wrong? What's happening here? And then you got to be able to, like I said, adjust and adapt. So all of a sudden, classic example, I was commentating some NBL games this year, and I got a doubleheader game. So the second game, a Perth game, finishes at like, I don't know, damn near midnight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to get home now. That just put me back a couple hours. Okay, that's okay. Just get home, get as much sleep as you can because the alarm's going off at 3:30. Mm-hmm. So I'm running on like 3 hours sleep. And as I'm getting up, and that alarm, it scared me to death. It went, bang. I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and now these are the moments.
Yeah.
These
This is
are
where
the
you're
moments.
tested.
Yes.
This is where you're tested.
Without a test, who are you without a test?
Yeah. Yeah.
I need a test. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, come on, man. Mm-hmm. Anybody can run with sleep.
Yeah. This is so true. So true.
Yeah. So goals set. I don't have goals, but in my missions, they meticulously planned out.
I want to ask you because so I asked you about what you would say to little Damon, but what would you say to like a young kid that's just gotten cut from his first team and like the mindset he needs to adapt, or your advice to that kid? What would that be? And then kind of forge that into the advice you'd give to a guy just starting out his professional career in basketball. Give me that. I want to know that.
Yep.
Guy or girl, by the way.
The player who got cut, didn't make the team. I say, you don't get everything you want in life. You do not get everything you want in life. Let's just get that on the table right now. Mm-hmm. And it ain't up to you whether you make the team or not. It's up to the coach whether they want you on their team.
Yeah.
So let's get that straight right now. You can train the house down. Coach might not want you. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do about it? It's always going to be, I'm always going to put it back on you.
Yeah.
Did you work hard enough? If so, it still might not be enough. It was my dream to play for Australia. Well, it wasn't the coach's dream to have you in their team.
Yeah.
Whose dream wins? You know what I mean? Understand that you don't have the control you think you do. You can only control how you present. Mm-hmm. Present. This is who I am to try to make this team. Is it what you want? No? Okay. I got to go try to make another team. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It isn't, if I just would have made more shots, or if I just would have did this little thing better. Nah, coach don't want you. Or if you didn't work hard enough, then that's an obvious reason why they didn't want you.
Yeah.
But understand it ain't always up to you.
But how do you accept that something's out of your control? How do you accept that?
Because that's what it is.
Asking for a friend.
That's what it is. It's not in your control.
Reflection here.
Yeah.
How do you accept something that's not in your control? Like, how do you, I've actually been talking about this in the last couple of days because at the moment I'm half living in Bendigo, half living in Melbourne, and I don't really know where I'm staying at the moment because I'm in an awkward time between seasons. So the only thing I have, quote unquote, control over is when I get my workouts in every day. And if someone in my family the other day stuffed with a timing of one of my workouts and it sent me. I was like, no, but I got to go now. And like, I can't wait half an hour. Like, ugh. And then in hindsight, I'm like, Anneli, Maylee, like what? So like, and then, I take the time, I look back and I'm like, the reason I reacted that way is because the only thing I have control over, quote unquote, at the moment is when I get my workouts in every day. I don't have control over where I'm staying, what I'm doing. The date that I'm even leaving the country, I have no idea. I don't know. And that makes me uncomfortable. But how do you be okay with that some decisions are made outside of your control?
Great questions.
It is such a good question.
Radical focus. Mm-hmm. Radical focus. The Navy SEALs talk about being radical. Everybody goes, focus. Focus. Focus gets shaken though. I'm focusing on this over here. And then you just made me go 30 minutes later. And now my focus is broken. Mm-hmm. But when I'm radically focused.
Yeah. It's just noise.
I'm not going to take my eyes off this microphone. I don't care what happens in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's radical focus. We lose it. It's too easily shook. That means it's not grounded enough in you. It's not a deep enough. The roots are not deep enough. They too easily shaken because you want comfort so bad that the slightest thing throws your whole thing off.
Yeah.
That's resolve and that's radical focus. That's that. But to accept what I can't control, that's simple. It's either accept it or don't accept it. Mm-hmm. Which one gonna bring you the pain? If I don't accept it, I'm gonna fight it Hey man, you picked the wrong team. How'd you pick that dude over me for? I've been kicking his ass ever since he was a junior. You just don't. What does that do? That don't do anything. I'm gonna go back over here and go, you want me? No? Thanks for the opportunity. See you later.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah. There's one thing I'd like to highlight there is when you talk about those two options, it's like if there's a decision made out of your control, you can accept it, which does actually bring you pain initially. Sometimes that brings you pain. When you don't accept it, that's when you form the habits, right? That's when you don't accept it, but that's when the finger pointing, that's when you find other ways. And we're all guilty of that. God, I left 2 different colleges because I didn't accept the situation that it was. And look, there's many different reasons why we do things. But there's always that decision there. Like if you've ever seen Black Mirror and Bandersnatch, I'm looking around the room, have you seen Bandersnatch? So there's this concept that it's like there's this one decision that comes down the middle. And then from that point, then 2 different decisions come. And then it's like you go with it or you don't, yes or no. And then that goes down into a separate, and it ends up being this big tree of life, but there's all these different outcomes, right? One version of it, you're going to be making decisions to avoid and finger point and not accept things. And then that's when you end up not the person that you want to be, or that your inner demons run your decision making, that fear, that is fear-based. When you accept it, that is actually saying stuff for you to fear, and you're making these decisions basing off accepting your surroundings. But it's hard. It's so much harder. And I just want to say that when we accept things that are out of our control, those are the moments that hurt the most. Those are absolutely the moments that hurt the most. Because when you accept it, you're realizing, yes, you're accepting that someone else is making the decision, but you're keeping the power for yourself. When you find ways out of making exceptions for something, you are giving other people the power. So I'd just like to highlight that. How do you feel about that, Damon?
I feel like you don't trust yourself.
No, I don't.
I feel that you don't trust yourself.
Yep.
And you don't trust the ability to adjust and adapt and overcome.
Yep. And I don't. It's so true. Yeah.
That's because the reason why you don't trust it, you haven't trained for it.
Yeah.
Where's the training for this, by the way?
There isn't. And we had spoken about this. Like when we talk about athletes and the things that not even just athletes, think about they teach this emotional resilience in schools and the ability to be able to trust your own decision making. When is that taught? We need that. We need that.
You don't even realize you need it until shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
You go, now what am I going to do? Oh my God, but the plan was I was going to play for that team, and then I was going to be a starter, and then I was going to average these points, and I was going to make the WNBL, and I was going to... Nope, now none of that happens.
Yeah.
Now what are we going to do? Not play basketball no more? What are we going to do? So the ability to adjust and adapt is so alive in me now that you could tell me anything.
Yeah.
You could go, hey, Damon, your car just got towed. I go, okay, that means I'm going to have to, okay, what do I need to do? I'm going to get home. Okay, yep, boom. That's how this is how it works now. Because I put myself in that many situations that when something don't go my way, I straight away go to figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't go to figure it out. We don't go to trust yourself because we haven't built that up in us.
Yeah.
We all want it. Yeah, it would be nice to have, but you don't know how to go about getting it. Because to get it, you have to suffer.
Yeah.
But we don't want that. So now, who can I blame?
Yeah, the blame game, hey.
Darren. Gee, what an ass. It's Darren's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't like me. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
We come up with every other way to justify and rationalize why something bad happened to us. Instead of saying, bad shit happens all the time. I can handle it. I'm built for bad shit.
Yeah.
You know how? Because I'm going to put myself through bad shit next month.
Yep.
I'm going to do it. I do it to myself. I'm not even going to wait for you. I'm not even going to wait for life.
That's the trust in the hard work too. That's the trust in the hard work.
And I said that to my boy. I said, man, the trust I have now, I just know I can respond.
Yeah.
I'm going to respond. And I don't know what it's going to look like. But guess what? I'm going to finish.
Yeah.
I'm going to be tipping champagne over my head at the end of the month because I know I'm going to finish. I don't know how yet.
Yeah.
I'm running. I was running. There was a big ass tree. Just went poof, poof. I said, I just went around the tree. Everybody else was looking at the tree like, oh my God, look at the tree. I just went around the tree.
Yeah.
That's kind of for me like a metaphor.
That's life.
Go around it.
Yeah.
Get over it. Don't stand there and bitch about the tree. Just keep moving.
Yeah.
So to people like that, I would say you're going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable Because then that will develop an ability to trust yourself to adjust and adapt and overcome.
I like that. I really like that. And I'd again like to highlight something. So Damon is our 3x3 coach, the coach of the Gangaroos.
Gang, gang.
The gang. We were just over in Singapore playing in the Asia Cup. And so the way Damon coaches has changed since he started doing his missions. Like Damon's coached me a little bit throughout the years. We've interacted. He's done some. He's coached me in a few different areas of my life. And this version of Damon, I'd like to give a little example. So we were about to play China in our. I think it might have been the third game of the day, and I don't want to get that wrong. Could be the second, could have been the third. Singapore is hot. It is a very hot place, and the ball is slippery, and it's just, the food venue wasn't in the right place, and there's so many things that were just not right about our setup for this tournament. And when we're sitting down to talk about it pre-game, it's like he has spoken so much about this stuff that we now know no one's going to talk about any sort of excuses. It's like, we are going to get this done. This is why we're going to get it done. And he names all the hard things. He names all the hurdles. Like, it's hot, the food's wrong, this team's been together for longer. They got 7 people here training. Blah, blah, blah. And then it ends with like, and we're still going to win. And it's like, we're all sitting there, we're like, oh, like talk about the height. Like, we're like, yeah, and then I think it was either Marina or could have been Willie said something. What if they came on with 4 players? And, and the ball goes flat. And like it's created such an environment within our Gangaroo culture that it's like, throw what you want at us. And we will figure it out. Make it harder. It's better.
Yes.
It is better. Don't fund us. Let's see what happens, make it harder, and I just think that in a coaching environment, right? And I'm not saying, I don't want you to, coaches listening, if you're coaching a group of under 12 girls, don't pull out a hose and start hosing them while they're doing basketball training and start piffing basketballs at them, and don't do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the emotional training that has been implemented in the 3x3 national team program. The emotional resilience, the mental resilience, I think that's important to be implemented in junior basketball. And yes, it looks different in the ability in the way that you talk to people when they are 20 and above versus 15 and below, but it still needs to exist in some way, shape or form. So, I'm in under 16s walking into a Vic tournament. I'm in my second game of the day. I don't want people around me, like the kids around me should not be sitting there being like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so sore. The culture needs to be built to be like, okay, you're tired. Okay, you're sore. It doesn't matter. We're still going to win. We're still going to get this done. And that's the mindset, right? That it needs to be created in all throughout Australian basketball, I feel. And it exists in spaces. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. It definitely does. And there's people in Australian basketball that exemplify that. There's players in the league that I play against that exemplify that. But I think about in those moments, like, you've just played 3 or 4 games in a tournament style and lay out everything that's wrong. Do it. Talk about it. Like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And we're still going to win anyway. Yeah. And I love that because that is something for me that just screams the way that it's changed the culture of our playing group. Like, I think about us, like I've been a part of the 3x3 program now for 3 years. It's completely changed over that time, completely. And a lot of that has to do with the way that we view problems now. Because the problem is no longer something that will erode us. It is something that we face and walk into, and then we make the problem our bitch, That's the vibe, and that's what's been created, right? And so what I'm saying is, I'm not telling an 11-year-old girl to walk up to a coach who she thinks the problem is like, you now I'm a bitch. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, find in sport, right, as a basketball player, find the things that make things difficult. For me at the moment, it's personally going through changes in my professional life, going through changes, figuring out where I'm going to be next, or where I'm going to be in America, how long am I staying there, are they going to send me home, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying not to look at that and run away from it. I'm trying to look at it and be like, all right, well, if I go and they cut me, they cut me. I could go and I could be there for 3 hours. I could be there for 2 days.
Yeah.
I could be there for 2 months. And my mindset now is, okay. And that is, I want people to try, and it can start small. It can start small.
Yep.
It can be, actually, this is pretty relevant for Victorians that are going into the next NBL 1 season, right? 6 a.m. trainings suck. They suck. It is cold. It is so cold. And like the 6 a.m., walk in there and go, I can't feel my toes. I can't feel my hands. The court is actually slippery from the condensation of how cold it is. And that's what I want people to take out of this. And ask the question. Even say those crappy things out loud. Say it out loud. And like it forces you to look at it. Yeah. Say it out loud, look at it. And if you can take anything away from this conversation, I want you to think about the mental process of listening to yourself say, oh, I don't want to do it, or I don't want to do this. Say it out loud and think about why you don't want to do it and do it anyway. Say it out loud. Listen to why you don't want to do it and do it anyway.
I love that.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
It's so good. It's so good. And like I always thought that it was because my dad always thought it was because I was super stubborn. And like it started with like him and mum being like, Anneli, you don't do this. And I'd be like, hey, it starts with things like that. But I think it eventually developed into a mindset where I was like, I don't want to do this. Damn it. Yeah. Now I got to do it, you know? And I think like to kind of full circle moment you and the Lehman Dairy. I don't know why I call you Lehman Dairy. I don't know why that started, but it's just here now. Your why for why you get up every day, your why. What is that?
Can I just back up a second?
Back up, go.
What you just said before, we talking about character.
Yeah.
When does character reveal itself?
When stuff gets hard.
When stuff gets hard. That's when character reveals itself. That's who you find. I'm not going to fall for it how you are when the sun is shining and the birds are singing. Nah, show me who you are in the storm. Yeah. Because that's who you are. Because life is full of disappointments. It's full of unwanted, unfulfilled dreams and wishes and all that kind of stuff. And you find out who you are. So once you make up your mind what you want your character to be, you start looking at them situations differently. So when you brought up the culture and what we doing with the Gangaroos, I love that because I'm thinking, I got to drive it. I mean, this is who I am. And it speaks to your girls as character that you follow, that you buy that. Yeah. It ain't for everybody. No. That's cool. But when you say, what's my why? This might mess you up. I ain't got a why. Oh. You know why? Oh. Because here's what I realized. It don't matter.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna take it somewhere.
Take it, go.
Mission mindset. Yep. Why am I I gotta run 80 Ks today. Not today, but like it's 80K day. Why am I getting up this morning? Why am I doing it? It don't matter. I got 80 Ks to run. Yeah, but have you eaten enough? Do you think are you prepared? Did you get enough rest? What difference do it make?
It don't matter.
I got 80 Ks to run. It's that simple. There is no why. When I was out there running and I'm by myself and everything is hurting, do you know what mattered? Nothing. Yeah. But getting to 80. Yeah. Nothing. There is no why. Yeah. For other people, have why. Whatever you need to do.
It's different for everyone.
It is. Yeah. For me, it's what I said I'm gonna do. Yeah. It's that simple. If I said it, damn it, it's going down. Yeah. You better believe it's going down. Can you feel this conviction? It don't matter. Whatever happens to me, what's the mission? The mission mindset is finish it, secure it. Yep. There is no second place in mission mindset. There is no participation award. There is no bad luck, you almost had it. So for me, the why, it don't matter. And I started to realize how simple it was because we complicate things sometimes. Yeah. Well, you know what? Like you said, if I can eat the right stuff and then tick that box and then tick that box, I should be right to run 80 Ks. Yeah. Just shut up, man. Go run. Yeah, just do it. Wear your shoes. And that's what I call, where's my shoes? I was hearing all this stuff going on in my head. And eventually I just shut it all up and just said, where's my shoes?
Yeah.
Put them on, open the door, start running.
Yep.
Done. So what for other people, whys might be extremely important, but my mindset is now 24/7. It ain't sometimey. Mm-hmm. It's all the timey. Mm-hmm. And it is secure the mission.
I like it.
Whatever I say, if I say it, I'm going to do it.
I like it. I like it. That is the goal of where we're going to get, right? As people, to be someone of your word so much that whatever you say, you got to do it. You know what I mean?
That's integrity.
That's integrity.
How many people say stuff and they don't ever do it?
Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
But then you say you was going to do that? Yeah, well, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
But then guess what? You never guess what happened. I don't want to hear all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about the labor pains. Where the baby?
Yeah.
Where the baby at?
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. I forgot my last question. No, I've got it. Okay. And I've ended this on almost everyone. Actually, everyone I've asked this question. How do you think other people see you versus who you actually are? How do you think people see you versus who you actually are? And if there is no difference, if there is no gap in that, at what point did there become no gap?
Wow. You're good at this, girl. How people, I spent the majority of my life wondering how I was viewed, how people saw me. Do these clothes match? Is my haircut okay? Is everything, that's a crippling way to live. I'm always living up to somebody else's expectations. I don't even know what they are. You might not even be paying attention to me, and I'm worried about what you think of me. Nah, I don't go down that path. How people view me now, I don't know. I am whatever they want me to be. That's not in my control. Damon, you're inspirational. I'll go, oh, thanks. What are you doing with that inspiration, by the way? Nah, never mind. Damon, I'm sick of you doing all this. I go, oh, yeah. So to you, I'm this. To you, I'm that. To you, I'm this. I'm a bunch of stuff to everybody. It don't matter.
It don't.
I know that now. It don't matter what you guys think. I don't care. All I care about is what I think of myself. Finally.
Yeah.
That's freedom. Finally. Took me a long time. Damn, I wish you could. We don't get taught this.
Yeah.
We don't get taught it. But now I am my own evaluator. Mm-hmm. Damon, did you punk out today? No, give me 20 push-ups.
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff. I'm doing stuff that people don't even know what I'm doing it for.
Yeah.
I have my own standards. My standards are non-negotiable. They're not yours. Mm-hmm. They're mine. I am the gatekeeper and the protector of my standards.
Yeah.
And if I don't meet it, I will take care of that.
Yeah.
By punishing myself. Now you might think, that's harsh. No, they reminders. Because I know if I let one thing slide, here comes the backslide. Yeah. Then the sliding becomes a habit. Next thing you know, I might be back where I started. Yeah. No, I ain't never going back there. If I got to strap up, put on a weight vest, if I got to go out there with a bad back to keep me sharp, best believe I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like that because when I say how do you think people see you versus who you actually are, you're answering that question being like, how do I think I see me versus who me actually is, And I like that. It's like it's the most honest way to answer that question because you're answering it with a mirror in front of you. Because at the end of the day, you have to be the one that lives with you. That's the whole mission.
You know what David Goggins calls that mirror?
What?
The accountability mirror.
The accountability mirror.
Look in it. Look in it, stare into that mirror and then see, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing?
As I was driving to this episode, I was on the phone with my friend and he said to me, he was like, oh, who are you talking to? I was like, oh, I've got my coach Damon coming in. We're talking about being comfortable in the uncomfortable. And he goes, oh, you got to ask him if he knows who David Goggins is. And from the moment you said, there's this guy, David Goggins, I was like, I gotta give him a shout out because he said, ask him. I'm sure he would know. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He provided a blueprint. I met him. I went to his concert.
Did you actually?
I went to his speaking engagement.
Yeah.
Paid extra to meet him. Walked up on stage.
Yeah.
And this guy laid out the blueprint.
Yeah.
He's done it. And he's still doing it. And I walked up on stage. I'm thinking, what do you say to a guy who's been so influential in your life? I walked right up to him. And he was trying to give me the standard, shake the hand, take the photo. I grabbed him, brought him in for the hug. and said, hey, man, I said, my name's Damon. I'm from Saginaw, Michigan, and I'm a retired basketball player who went soft. He said, really? I said, yeah. I said, I just want to thank you, man. I said, I got it from here. He's like, cool. Yeah.
I got it from here.
I got it from here.
I got it from here. And that's what you be doing to everybody else now. We're all here. Like, we got it from here. It's a work in progress. We're learning. We're all works in progress. But God, this was a row 59 chat. This was a row 59 chat.
Whenever we talk.
We really do. We really do be dropping gems. And we need our own podcast. We need our own podcast because I reckon we've been talking for damn near 2 hours and we could keep going. That's the worst part is when we were on our way to Singapore, we had an 8-hour time period. I think we talked for 5 hours. and our team manager, the physio, she was asleep on one side and she rolled over and she's like, oh, they're still going. And then she rolled back asleep. It's like, there's so much here that falls under this mindset and the mission. It's more than just this physical challenge. That's not what it is. No. And I hope that people listen to this and realize challenge yourself to hear the real message here and don't just hear the physical things that Damon's doing. Don't just hear, oh, he ran 80 Ks, he put this weight vest on. Don't hear that part. Hear the mental challenges. Hear the real purpose of what he's trying to do. And then take a look in that accountability mirror and ask you why that makes you uncomfortable what he's doing. Because if what Damon is doing is making you uncomfortable, that is a reflection of yourself. And those are some questions you need to ask yourself. And on that note, I just want to say thank you so much for coming in, Damon. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to listen this one back. I really can't. It's been a pleasure. This is Under the Surface with Damon Lowery, and I'm Anneli Maley.